Okay, let's get right into it. In the tech world, the battle lines are usually drawn pretty clearly. But every once in a while, a huge player makes a move that just completely redraws the entire map. And that's exactly what we're breaking down here.
A blowtorch. You know, when analysts start using words like that, you know something big just went down. That's a quote about Sam Altman and OpenAI, and it just perfectly captures the heat of what they just did. So what exactly happened?
And there it is. For the very first time, the incredibly powerful AI models from OpenAI, yeah, the folks behind ChatGPT, are now officially available on Amazon Web Services, AWS, the biggest cloud platform on the planet. Now, this might sound like just another corporate deal, but trust me, in the high-stakes game of AI, this is a seismic shift.
To really get why this is such a huge deal, we have to start with one side of the equation, the cloud giant itself. Let's dig into Amazon's bold countermove. You see, before this announcement, the whole AI landscape felt, well, kind of predictable. The big players had picked their teams, the partnerships were all set, and the battle lines for the future of AI were clearly drawn.
The setup was pretty simple. On one side, you had Amazon's AWS, which had poured a ton of money into Anthropic, the makers of the Claude AI. And on the other side, you had Microsoft's Azure cloud, which was all in on its multi-billion-dollar partner, OpenAI. It was a clean, two-sided fight, or so we thought.
But here's the thing. That whole setup wasn't looking so great for Amazon. The narrative on Wall Street and in the tech world was that AWS, even though it's the biggest cloud provider, was falling behind in the generative AI race. And that put them under some serious pressure. And this wasn't just some quiet chatter. Nope. During an Amazon earnings call, an analyst from Morgan Stanley basically called them out, right to the CEO's face. Imagine being told in front of the entire financial world that everyone thinks you're losing the most important tech race of our time.
Amazon's CEO, Andy Jassy, he came out swinging. He fired back with this comment, basically reminding everyone, hey, don't forget, the other guy is still way smaller than us. It was a bit of a defensive jab, but man, it showed you just how raw that nerve was. AWS needed a big public win in AI.
Okay, so that explains Amazon's side of things. But hey, a partnership takes two, right? So what's in it for OpenAI? Well, as it turns out, they're playing a really smart game here. Look, this deal is about so much more than just finding new customers. For OpenAI, this is a pure, unadulterated power play. It's all about gaining leverage and reminding everyone that they are in charge of their own destiny.
All right, so here's the deal. The relationship between OpenAI and its main backer, Microsoft, it's reportedly, well, let's just say it's strained, and they're renegotiating their deal. So what's the best way to get a better deal in a negotiation? You start cozying up to your partner's biggest rival. It's a classic move, and it's absolutely brilliant. Plus, it gives them a direct pipeline to the millions of business customers on the world's biggest cloud.
And this whole thing fits perfectly into Amazon's big strategy, what they call model choice. Think of it like an AI supermarket. On services like Bedrock, you're not forced to buy just one brand of AI. You can pick and choose from Anthropic, Cohere, Meta, and now they've just put the most popular brand on the planet right on the main shelf for everyone to see.
So it's a win for Amazon, and it's a huge strategic win for OpenAI. But the ripples from this thing, they go way beyond just these two companies. This one deal is seriously shaking up the entire AI landscape.
To really get the gravity here, you have to understand the kind of money we're talking about. These are not small-time deals. The fight to be the home for the top AI models is a game played with tens of billions of dollars. $30 billion. So where does that crazy number come from? That's the reported size of a deal OpenAI already has with another AWS competitor, Oracle. So you had Microsoft and Oracle with these massive OpenAI deals, and AWS, the biggest cloud player in the world, was kind of left out in the cold. Until now. This puts them right back in the game.
And get this, there's another layer to this chess game. Sam Altman and OpenAI aren't just making moves on their cloud rivals. They're also taking a very clever swipe at another AI giant, Meta.
Okay, this part is just fascinating. At the exact same time this AWS deal drops, OpenAI goes and releases two new, powerful models completely open source. This is a direct shot at Meta, right? Meta built up all this goodwill with developers by open sourcing its Llama models. But now, Meta is hinting it might stop doing that, just as OpenAI swoops in to fill the gap. I mean, the timing is just brilliant. So, after all that, where does this leave us? Well, you can pretty much take the old AI playbook and toss it in the trash. We are all playing by a new and much more complicated set of rules now. All right, let's boil it all down. What do you really need to remember? First, those old, cozy, exclusive alliances, they're a thing of the past. Second, OpenAI is playing 4D chess here, diversifying its partners to grab more power for itself. Third, this move puts AWS officially back in the center of the big league AI conversation. And finally, the AI cloud wars just got way more intense and, frankly, a lot more interesting to watch. All of this leaves us with one massive question to think about. As these alliances form and break, and as billions of dollars are thrown around, you have to wonder, is this AI war even a game that any single company can truly win alone anywhere? Or is the future all about these constantly shifting, strategic dances? That's the new reality.